Hey, everybody, welcome to EduMatch. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, follow along with us at podcast.edumatch.org/tweet talk. So, today I'm super excited because I have a good friend of mine, Jornea Erwin, here who's going to be chatting with us. So, welcome, Jornea.
Thank you, Sarah. I'm so excited to be here. So I really appreciate the invite.
Oh, excited that you're on. So thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us. So for those of you who don't know Jornea, let me tell you a little bit about her. So she is a learner, servant to others, and an educator for 15 years. And she lives by these three words: love, grow, inspire. Jornea's experiences include being a classroom teacher, reading interventionist, instructional coach, mentor, regional instructional technology specialist, and she currently heads the educator innovation for an educational technology startup that many of us are familiar with, Flipgrid. With a passion for empowering and supporting others in innovation, Jornea is committed to a continuous quest to transform learning experiences for all. She's a learner for life and is always seeking ways to connect, learn, and grow her craft. Jornea has obtained a bachelor's degree in elementary education, a master's degree in educational leadership, and she's currently pursuing a doctor of education degree in instructional leadership. She also holds various certifications, including Google Educator 1 and 2, Google Certified Trainer, and Google Certified Innovator. So Google everything. So that is awesome, Jornea. That is awesome. So super excited to chat with you today. So tell us, who or what inspired you to go into education?
That's an awesome question. So as a child, I think I've always been drawn to just being of service to others. And so in my quest to give back, a lot of times I would go into schools and do different service projects within schools. And that was just a natural draw for me, working with students. But I did have two amazing educators in my family, my two aunts, Gail and John. They were just perfect role models for what it meant to be a teacher who made impacts on students' lives every day. So I would say between those two, that's what really drew me to education. Although when I started my college career, I was not an education major. And so by the time I was maybe a mid-sophomore, I made that change to major in elementary education. And that was the best decision I've ever made.
Oh, I totally hear you on that. What was your original major?
Biology.
Oh, wow. I feel
Yeah.
you. I feel you. But yes, we're super glad to have you in education and super lucky as well. So, tell us about your own journey in connecting with other educators and what kinds of things have you learned along the way?
Absolutely. So to start off with being connected, I took this little test called Strengths Finder, and one of my strengths is connectedness. And I think that has always been just something that I've been used to doing, is connecting with people. So when I started off my education career, being connected meant that you worked with your team, you worked with people within your school and people within your district. And that was about it back in 2003. And I would say maybe 2012 was my journey into connecting with educators throughout the world through social media. And I think social media has just really heightened the opportunities to be able to learn and grow from so many different people. So I love being connected, but I also love connecting other people together. So I feel that's another part of service that I can give. If I know that there's an area in which you want to grow and maybe I don't have that expertise, I can, connect someone with someone else, and then they can learn and grow their own professional learning family or network through those connections.
Yeah, totally. So, oh my goodness, it's just amazing to see like connections, like what they do for people. So, and you're a great connector of people. So, awesomeness. So, what has fueled your passion for lifelong learning?
Yeah, so there's one quote by Dr. Maya Angelou that I absolutely love, is when we know better, we do better. And so I think that's what fuels my passion for lifelong learning, because the more that we get to know each other through those connections, the more that we learn a little deeper than what we already, had an understanding of something for, the better that we can make an impact in whatever, job role or life experiences that we want to share with other people. So I think that's what really sparks my love for lifelong learning. You see, I have the certifications. It's just a fuel, a fire that just kind of burns within me, that if I can make sure that I grow my craft continuously, then I can also help others to do the same and just keep that fire going.
Absolutely. And that fire is contagious, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like if you have like a match near another pack of matches and the whole thing's going to burst into flames. So I love that. Love that. So speaking of passion, you are very passionate also about honoring voice and building confident and self-empowered students. So why is this so important to you? And what are some tips for educators to help cultivate this in their students?
Absolutely. So I feel like voice is the very essence of people. And so when students come into our world of education, that building that we call school, they come with their voice. They come with their curiosities, their wonderings. They come with their own knowledge as well. And far too often, I've seen that stop because students' voices are not respected or heard. And I feel, as being an educator, although I am there to guide the teaching and learning for students, I'm also there to learn from my students as well. And so I think that's why voice is so important, because when students know that they have a voice and they have something to contribute to the world, they use it, and they use it for good. So I just encourage any educator that may be watching to just kind of reflect on how are you using the ideas and the voice of your students to maybe drive your instructional practices, and what better ways can you do that by honoring student voice?
Totally, absolutely. And I love what you were saying, that they come with their voice, they come with their ideas, and just tapping into those and listening to them, and just encouraging them to use their voice. That just makes such a difference in the learning process. All right, cool, cool. So you've also done a lot of work with coaching and PD. So that's definitely a passion of yours. So what have been some of your findings in this domain?
Yes, absolutely. So back in 2011, when I moved from New Orleans, Louisiana to Alabama, I just found my love for instructional coaching. I was a part of an amazing network called the Instructional Partners Network, in which we use a lot of the work of Jim Knight to guide our partnerships with teachers. And so through those partnerships, I really learned that relationships are the foundation to helping other educators grow. A lot of times in schools, we have our school improvement plans. We want to make certain things happen. But if those foundations are there, those innovative practices may not occur because someone doesn't feel like they're supported enough to be able to step outside the box and try something new. And once again, that's where voice also comes in. So, we also have to listen to the ideas of the teachers that are around us. So in my journey as an instructional coach, and also as a mentor to instructional coaches, other things that I just kind of see is that, we learn best when we learn from each other. Learning is a social, experience, so to say. And so the more that teachers can also connect with others continuously, whether it's through rigid coaching within their schools or just having someone to support them, we'll be able to see that transfer of practice from a learning space into what they're doing every day into the classroom. So that's why I have a passion and a heart for coaching, because I know it can make a real difference for teachers and then also their students.
Totally, totally, totally. So tell us a little bit about Coachflix.
Yeah, so Coachflix is my Google Innovator project. I came up with the idea because, number one, I absolutely love coaching, but I feel, within schools, there's so many different barriers when it comes to having a coach, whether it's funding or maybe, the coach is being used for so many other things besides coaching, that coaching doesn't necessarily occur. So, I feel whether or not you're in the same building with someone, you can help them on their journey to innovation, or their journey to transform the learning that's happening within their classrooms. So Coachflix is going to be a platform in which I'm going to use Flipgrid to kind of drive that, where educators will be able to kind of match up with each other based upon their passions, and then also the areas in which they want to grow. And then that relationship is going to be formed because they'll be able to share ideas through video on Flipgrid, and then also upload video of instructional practices and receive feedback. So I'm really looking forward to really launching this project. So fingers crossed that it will happen. But yes, that is Coachflix.
That is so cool. That is so cool. And I cannot wait to see that. Like, that's just such a great idea. And I can think back to, well, I mean, even now, but I mean, like throughout my career where, I've just really benefited from just, connecting with somebody and, early in my career, then I didn't have all of this that we have now, available to us where you can literally connect with anybody, around the world. So that is super cool.
Yeah.
Super, super cool. Can't wait to see that. All right.
Yeah, I can't wait to make it happen.
Absolutely. And I'm 100% sure that will go down, and I'm super excited for it.
And I have to give a shout out, guys. Sarah is my mentor. So
we're like mutual mentors, because I'm learning so much from you. So thank you for that. So you are a very busy person. You are currently in a doctoral program as well. So what is your area of interest and what drew you to it?
Yeah, so of course, my area of interest is coaching and professional development. So that's why, my focus is instructional leadership. And so in that process, I definitely want to gather the best practices for people who may be facilitators of professional learning. Like, what do they do before, during, and after a professional development session to make it impactful? And hopefully some of the findings would be, once again, that connectedness to continue the learning beyond that one session that someone attends. I think that's going to come out in the research. So once again, I'm kind of looking forward to that as well. And yes, I'm very busy when it comes to that.
Absolutely. Well, that's going to be a great study. So definitely going to be looking out for that. So, so I was super lucky. Got to hang out with you. What was it? Maybe a month ago now? A month,
Yeah.
6 weeks, something like that, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So we connected at the Our Voices Academy as well as Ties 18. So what were your takeaways from that weekend? Your biggest takeaways?
Oh, wow. That weekend was amazing. So with Our Voice Academy, or OV Academy, as we call it as well, this was an amazing experience for educators of color to be able to craft a keynote and have support in crafting a keynote and delivering a keynote. And so one big takeaway from there was that we need to be there for each other. All educators need to be there for each other. And sometimes, we may not see something in us that someone else sees. And the more that we communicate that to someone, that gives them the motivation, the encouragement to just go out and do things that they would not have done if you didn't give them that gentle nudge. So that was one big takeaway for me for that weekend. And so I left another family, and we were just on a Google Hangout the other night doing a book study. And so it was an amazing experience. And then once again, Ties 18, it was a great way for teachers in Minnesota and the surrounding areas to come together and learn about instructional practices. So many amazing presenters. Jenny McGarrett was one of the keynotes, and Ken Shelton was the other keynote. And educators just took so much from those keynotes, as well as the various sessions that were given at Ties. So once again, that was one moment in time, but through social media, so many educators have remained connected since those moments. So I think that was my other biggest takeaway from Ties 18 is it may start here, but it can go anywhere from that point.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. You never know like who you meet that's gonna change your life. So, and one thing
Absolutely.
yeah, I really liked that their theme was "What's your story?" So that was cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So 2017 ended well, 2018 is beginning well. So what can we expect to see from you for the rest of the year?
Yeah, so in my job role with Flipgrid, we are releasing so many amazing features. So stay tuned for that. For those of you who may have logged in recently, you see that you can now have a single sign-on with either a Google or Microsoft account. So that's pretty awesome. Lots of educators have been asking for that, and we definitely delivered. Also, check out some of the amazing topics that's in the topic discovery library. This is a place where you can find your next topic, or you can share your best topics with the world. So this is another way that we want to also honor educators' voices. And as far as me, I put out grid tips pretty often so that educators can just make the best use of their Flipgrid subscriptions. And then it also has best practices woven all throughout the grid tips as well. So you can apply it to so many other resources too. And there's something coming up called the Savvy Field Trip. I've already made my first stop at a school, and I can't wait to go to other schools. But I'm just seeing best practices in action, and then using that experience to also share with the world what I've seen, and then other ways that you can use Flipgrid in order to transform those practices within your educational setting. So started it off in Minneapolis last week, and I may be coming to a state near you.
Oh, okay, the Savvy Field Trip. So y'all need to watch out for that. Yes, invite her to come to your school. That is super, super cool. So
Absolutely.
yes, I can't wait to see the results of that. So that's going to be really cool. And also shout out to you for I think it was one of your grid tips that you wrote about what to do if you're camera shy. And
Yeah.
that was a great one. I just cited that in a piece that I wrote. So that was a really, really
Oh,
cool one.
yeah, so another part of my job role is just supporting educators with any questions that they may have. And that's one question that comes up a lot, whether on Twitter or through email. Is, how do we really engage students who may be a little camera shy? And so, yes, that blog post just gives a couple different examples of how you can still honor student voice, even if they don't want to be seen um, through video. And we also have to honor that part too. So definitely check out that grid tip. And if you have any questions, you can always send them my way. I'm at savvy_educator on Twitter, and just Jornea at flipgrid.com.
All right. And that's awesome because I was just about to ask you that, how we could get in touch with you online. So perfect, perfect timing. And also your website, if you could throw that out there as well.
Yeah, website is savvyeducator.org. And then, of course, Flipgrid is flipgrid.com. The savvyeducator.org is a little under construction. So you'll see that it's going through a transition, but hopefully Coachflix will be a part of the Savvy Educator website, as well as the grid tips. So you can go to one place and get everything, I guess.
Well, that is super awesome, and wanted to give a huge shout out to Regina, who's watching right now, as well as Fabiana on the YouTube live. So they just chimed in to say hello. So and
Awesome. Thanks, Regina and Fabiana.
yeah, 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 yeah. And Regina says, "Great information. Thanks for sharing, Journey."
Awesome. Thank you for tuning in.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Thanks for being here. And thank you to everybody who's watching. And just remember that tonight we are going to have Tweet and Talk going on at 6 p.m. Eastern. So we're going to be talking about voice and choice in PD. And that's going to be moderated by Irene Ball. So check it out. Same bat channel, podcast.edumatch.org/tweet talk. And we will be having a badging challenge tonight. As always, our medium badge, you can post a Flipgrid reflection to say what you got out of the episode. So definitely tune in for that. Yeah, if she has a sticker, she has a swag. Go ahead, put that up one more time.
There we go. A little flipgrid fever going on here.
Oh yeah, flipgrid fever. We definitely have it at EduMatch. So
Awesome.
yeah, so thanks so much for joining us, and hope to see you guys back at 6 Eastern. So everybody have a great one.
Thank you guys. Thank you,
Thank
Sarah.
you. Thank you.